Have you ever read the Chronicles of Narnia? If not, then it's actually pretty cool that you're watching this video. So a couple days ago, I decided to read through the series again, and I read it once before back in high school for a British literature class that I was taking. But I feel like this second time around, I'm getting a lot more out of the books than I did the first time I read them. I'm only 2 books in at the moment. I've read The Magician's Nephew, and now I'm reading The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. So in this video, I wanted to talk about at least one of the things that I took away from the first book. Now, I'm not going to do a summary of the entire book because that would take way too long, and I don't feel like making that long of a video. But I do want to talk about one of the characters in the first book. His name is Digory Kirke. Early on in the story, Digory kind of starts off with a, stubborn and kind of bitter attitude due to his circumstances. But as the story moves on, he actually turns into kind of a more humble and courageous character, which is really cool. Throughout the story, Digory faces several pressure points where he has to choose between the right thing to do and the wrong thing to do. And unfortunately, some of the choices he makes early on in the story kind of end up backfiring and leading to more trouble later on. One of the last decisions that Digory has to make in the story is he has to choose between obeying a command from Aslan, who is the king of Narnia, or just returning straight home. But the stakes are actually kind of high. So Digory's mom is really sick, and Digory has with him this apple from the Tree of Life. Now he's supposed to bring this apple to Aslan first, but he could just take it straight home to his mom and heal her. But there's a catch, because one of the things that makes the decision difficult is there's this evil witch, and she shows up earlier on in the story, but right here in this moment, she is tempting Digory to make the wrong decision and disobey Aslan. Digory ends up wrestling with the decision for at least a couple pages. The witch is there just talking to him and pouring lies into him and just really trying to make the decision hard on him. And you should have seen me while I was reading this. I literally couldn't put the book down. I was like so sucked in. Even though I had read the story before, I couldn't really remember how it ended, and I was like, oh man, Digory, I'm right there with you. You gotta make the right decision. And I was getting all sucked into it. Anyway, fortunately, Digory does make the right decision in the end, and he realizes what the witch is saying is wrong, and he leaves her, and he brings the apple to Aslan. And it's actually really cool, because when he returns with the apple to Aslan, he hands it over to him, and Aslan is like, well done. And I thought that was so cool, because it was such a hard battle for Digory, and just the praise that he gets from Aslan in the end is just it was like icing on the cake. It was so good. Now, if you didn't know this already, the Chronicles of Narnia is actually a Christian Bible allegory. There's a lot of biblical parallels and thought-provoking stuff in the books if you read them. And honestly, I'd say there's a lot of wisdom in it too, which is kind of what I want to finish this video with. I want to talk about kind of what I really took away from this moment in The Magician's Nephew and what it means for me. In general, I feel like I really connected with Digory's character in this story. There's a lot of stuff that happens, but this moment specifically really hit home for me. And what I took away from it was, in life, when you find yourself in a spot where you have to make a decision between doing the right thing or the wrong thing, or you're tempted to do the wrong thing, or someone else is there telling you to do the wrong thing, the more you sit there and listen to those lies in your head or from someone else, the more likely you are to make the wrong decision. And what's interesting is there's kind of like two things that I noticed that help Digory make the right decision. The first is that he realizes the evil witch, while she's talking to him, he starts to realize that her words they're hollow and they're mean, and she's not looking out for his best interest. She really wants to destroy him, and he finally understands that, and it's like, red flag. I'm not listening to you. I'm leaving, and I'm going to Aslan. And so that's one thing. But the second thing is that even after all that, he's going to Aslan at this point, and he still is kind of like second guessing things in his head, and he's worn out from that whole mental battle with the witch, because his problem still isn't exactly solved. His mom is still sick, and he still has the apple, and he's just still trying to wrestle over whether he should just go straight home or still go to Aslan. He leaves the witch behind, but he ends up remembering a time when he looked right into Aslan's eyes. And as soon as he remembers that, he realized that he can trust Aslan, and that, yes, he is making the right decision. Going to Aslan is what he needs to do. This sort of just made me think of a verse in Colossians. It's Colossians 3:2. It says, "Set your minds on things that are above and not on things that are on earth." And what this all really means to me is that when I find myself in those moments when I have to make those decisions that are hard, or I'm tempted to do something wrong, if I can remember that, one, is this decision gonna help me in the long run? Is it really for my good, or is it just gonna destroy me? And two, and I'd say this is the more important one, is I need to look to the one who really cares for me, to the one who showed his love for me, and that's God. It's Jesus, to be more specific. I need to look to the one who has shown his love for me, because I know I can trust him. I can trust him with my life, and I can trust him with my choices. And following him, living for him, following his commands is going to help me make the right decision in the end. So that was my main takeaway from the story, but if you made it this far in the video, I really appreciate you listening, because it was really cool, and I really liked what I got out of this story. Definitely, if you haven't read these books yet, go check them out. They're incredible, and I would highly recommend it. That's pretty much all I have for you, though, so thanks again for watching. Set your mind on things above, 'cause everyday temptations come. You've gotta be ready to keep your heart steady in love, in his love. Hey guys, real quick, I know it's been a couple months since I've actually posted a video, but I just want to let you know that I am trying to work on a new short film. I have been kind of brainstorming some different ideas. I have something that I'm like excited about, but I just haven't been able to piece together a whole story yet. Just letting you know that I am working on something, and hopefully I'll be able to land the plane soon. In the meantime, I put together a playlist of some of my favorite movie soundtracks. So if you guys want to check that out, I'll link it right here at the end of the video, and you can go listen to it if you want to. It's got a bunch of music that I find is really inspiring and just songs that I like from a lot of famous movies. So if you want to listen to that, go ahead and do that. And yeah, I'll hopefully see you guys soon in another video. Thanks.